the man, the myth, the legend. Tell me you're recording right now, Adam. You are recording. I swear to you.
Adam, if you're not recording, you're in big. I don't care what Metallica shirt you're wearing. That doesn't matter to me.
Which one is Metallica, Slayer, Anthrax?
Oh, by the way, I saw Slayer's last show.
Which one? I saw the one right before the last one at the Forum.
Yeah. I was at the last one at the Forum.
Are you a Slayer fan?
I'm a music fan.
Okay.
And I thought it would be a fun thing I just thought it would be a fun thing to go to. I have some great video from inside it. But that's a side thing. We can. You
know what was great about that show is that I know 3 songs by Slayer, but much like you, I woke up that morning and completely forgot that they were on their final tour and they were playing their final shows in Los Angeles. And I remember I'm a big bath guy, and I was getting ready to jump in the bath, and as I opened up my phone, I go, holy shit. I was like, Slayer's playing at the Forum tonight and tickets are super cheap on StubHub. And then what I did was I got into the bathtub and I slipped and I nailed my head on that cement ceramic thing that sticks out for the soap.
Of course.
And I was concussed. And so I couldn't go that night, but then I went to the next night.
You know that the bathroom is the most dangerous room in the house. You know that, right?
I know that.
You remember that, right?
Yeah, it's my mom teaches me that. My dad on his face.
Wayne Federman reminds you.
My dad's final words were, "Always take your time getting into a tub," and then he passed.
Is that true? That can't be true.
Yeah, it's the last thing he said.
Oh my God!
He never said "I love you," but he said, "Make sure."
The 3 words I needed to hear.
Make sure you put down a plastic thing in the tub.
Exactly.
So you have some grip because you're going to slip one day.
All wet.
Because that was my dad's whole saying throughout life. Make sure in the tub there's grip because you're gonna slip.
Oh, he was okay. So he was doing what do they call it for the rap community when it's not bars.
My dad spit bars. My dad actually was in an all Jewish hip hop group that was before the one that I was in, because all my Fleece Army listeners know that I speak about it all the time. I was in an all Jewish hip hop group called The Shekels. Which I actually have every album in the move from Los Angeles to New York. I mean, I didn't bring a lot of stuff, but I brought every The Shekels record. We're gonna put it online. We're going to give it to the Patreon people, and then we're going to sell it as an NFT because I heard the kids are doing that now. It's pretty popular.
Okay, that's over.
It's over.
By the way, I used to do a joke that I was in a Jewish heavy metal group called Black Shabbos, but then apparently somebody made that a legitimate band.
Black Shabbos?
Yeah, I think that's like a legitimate band.
There's a Passover group. Oh man, I need you to look it up for me, Adam, because they do Uptown Pesach, which is like a parody of Uptown Funk.
Yeah.
And it's like, off the coming on Friday night. Come on, everybody, hide the matzah. It's money's time to get down.
I know you're enjoying it. I get a little embarrassed by that stuff.
So do I. I send it to like 3 people every year.
I get it, a little embarrassed by it. It's just like, can we do better as Jews than just this?
No, we can't. We can't, Wayne.
I'm sorry. I know I should have pride in that kind of stuff, but I'm just like, ugh.
Wayne, I know, Wayne.
So basic.
It's so basic. Adam, do you have Uptown Pesach?
I have Uptown Funk Passover Funk parody. That's the first thing.
I think that's it. Just give me like a taste of it, and just get to the chorus if you can. Get to the
I gotta
Let me see if I got. Is it? Wait, what is that? What is this? Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is. Skip ahead a little bit. Skip a little ahead.
Oh.
Wait,
I wanted to hear that part. I wanted to hear that part.
Hold on. The Maccabees. Yeah, no, that was it. It was the Maccabees. The other one.
God.
This is it right here.
2 million views. Oh, I've seen it.
Eating it up at the Seder. Got kid along with Saint Laurent. Said, I think come on for later. Blood, oh red. Over Moses, he's a magician. Frogs lies on head.
All right, kill this because this isn't the one. There's like 9 versions of this. That's how bad.
That's how basic it is.
That's how
that
basic
anyone
this
could
is.
basically do that thing.
All right, well, let's talk about non-basic shit.
Yes.
Let's talk about well, first of all, this is your second time coming back to the podcast.
I can't believe I got asked back after what happened.
Well,
with the Steve Miller Fly Like an Eagle debacle.
What was the debacle? Again?
I'm kidding.
There's
like I went off the rails or something.
Reddit blew up and we were trashed on the subreddits. No, you're one of you Fetty Wap. You're one of my favorite people. I love riffing with you. I love hanging with you, and we had so much fun on Steve Miller Band, and this made we were throwing out like Hail Marys. Because we went to like Jeff Beck and like he's not doing anything, and then Clapton,
he got kicked out of the band, by the way.
I know, dude. We're gonna talk all about this.
Oh, okay, sorry.
No, you can bring it up, but there's no harm, no foul. There's no order anymore. It's just we go.
There isn't. Oh, I love it. Freeform.
Wait, do I hear? Okay, it's gone. I thought I heard like cicadas in the background. So we bringing you back for the Yardbirds having a rave up.
Yeah.
So why don't you tell me why you're on the podcast? Why is this record? What does it mean to you? And like, tell me about like how you first got into them.
Well, the Yardbirds are unlike Steve Miller Band, which were when I was growing up. Those songs were coming out on the radio, and we listened to them. The Yardbirds, I got to retroactively through, of course, Led Zeppelin, which I got when I found out about Led Zeppelin and Cream, and then a little later, the Jeff Beck group, which I was more into Cream and Led Zeppelin, and then I found out, all of these guys, Clapton, Beck, and Jimmy Page, play guitar for the Yardbirds. Like, who is this band? And so that's when I kind of deep dived into them a little bit. So it was kind of a retro thing. I didn't know their song. I was more into, at this point in the mid-'60s, much more into Beatles and even the Monkees a little bit, just like very pop chart stuff. And so that's how I got into them. How about you?
I started doing this podcast and it came in at what number is this? What number is this, Adam?
355.
It came in at number 355.
Had you heard of them before? Had you ever heard of them?
Yeah, of course. I mean,
I don't know. I don't know everything you know.
Dude, everybody knows the Yardbirds. I know that one song that's really popular. That anytime I tell Alexa to play Yardbirds, which she's about to do now because I just said that probably. But
For Your Love,
they always play For Your Love. I know that from like Guy Ritchie movies, but I had no idea that was the Yardbirds. It's much like you. Led Zeppelin, always Led Zeppelin. It's always Led Zeppelin. Cream.
So sad.
I still have yet to dig into Cream, but I have done a nice light listen of Cream.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know the hits, I know stuff like that. Yardbirds, I knew nothing about. But I did know, like you said, that Jeff Beck, Eric Clapton, and Jimmy Page have all played for this group. So obviously, you know that if these guys are playing with this band is something.
Yeah, oh, definitely. They're I call them maybe the ultimate bridge and influential band because I don't know, for some reason, maybe you can speak to this.
Please.
In the early 60s, England went nuts for American R&B and particularly those Chicago blues singers. Like all of them were collecting those albums or copying those riffs. Eric Clapton is a perfect example of that. And I always wondered, I was just like, is there anybody more white than English people? Like they define it. They are the thing. And like that they were so into the blues still, to me, blows my mind. Any idea on why that was? Maybe because it was so opposite their culture, or what do you think?
One, that's a really good point.
Yeah.
They are the whitest. people in the world, and not even just like in there, like, oh, hello, how are you?
Right.
Would you like
Stiff upper
would
lip.
you, would you like some plum pudding with a nice Yorkshire? They also, because of the clouds, they are actually pigmentally
Oh, I see.
extremely white people.
Mm-hmm.
But because of that, and I've said this a million times on the podcast, that's where you get the best music in the world, because they come from these families of being restricted, and My Left Foot, and Bridgerton, and any of the what is it, Downton Abbey, all that, like that's everybody in England. So or at least my perception, which now we just lost all the English listeners that are like, oh, I'm turning this off now and putting on a Malcolm Gladwell. But because of the clouds and because of the darkness there, you get this very emotional music. And so, in my opinion, going off of what you said, I think you're getting this love for the blues because it's the exact opposite of every single thing that they were brought up enjoying, listening to. Like, I mean,
would
Adam,
you say it's comparable? Sorry to interrupt. To like white suburban kids embracing hip hop?
I would say it's even more. It's even like, yes, it's 100% that. I was going to say it was like Southern California kids embracing their love for reggae music. But then that didn't make sense. I have a new joke about that, about why white people shouldn't do reggae.
Oh, really? You can shoehorn it in if you want to. I don't care.
No,
do a bit in the middle of this.
No bits. You know, my dad said no bits.
Wait a minute.
Just straight tits. That's what my dad said. My dad said no bits, only tits. My dad was a sexual deviant. Yeah, God rest his soul. Miss you, Big Al. No, so yeah, I think it definitely has something to do with it, but also it's just that's the exact opposite of their culture. And I mean, kids are always influenced by stuff that is, I mean, like you said, white suburban, white suburban kids. They grow up in these cul-de-sacs, and they grow up in the middle of nowhere outside of cities, and then they hear. I mean, look at me. I remember hearing Public Enemy for the first time, and I was like, "This is the coolest music I've ever heard in my life," and I was obsessed with like D Nice and Public Enemy and Kid and Play. And it's a culture thing. And I think when you restrict a culture, there's going to be an opposite reaction. It's energies, man. You put out good, bad's always going to come back. If it's there's an equal and opposite reaction. So if you're holding somebody back, they're going to fight through that. And then basically just do the exact opposite. I don't know how they were getting the music. Adam, do you have an idea of how these kids were getting the music? I'm assuming on like ham radio stations.
I don't know actually. Wait, how they were getting the Yardbirds music over there, or how they were getting?
No, how they were getting the blues.
Yeah, the blues. Well, I think if I'm not mistaken, those guys from Chess Records and would tour England because they were getting crowds over there. So I think that was part of it. And then they'd have these albums. And I remember like there's stories of Keith Richards sharing his records with Mick Jagger. And like they were like sort of, I guess, little diamonds in the rough. I don't know, because they weren't charting. There was no way maybe Howlin' Wolf was charting. I'm not sure. Yeah. So anyway, the Yardbirds are a link to that because they were into, obviously they were the band, as you know, that took over Crawdaddy once the Rolling Stones hit and then left. Like that was that little club in, I think it was called Richmond, is the place in England, suburb of London. And so they were the band that took over the house band at Crawdaddy, which, did you ever read Crawdaddy as like literature? Do you know what I'm talking about at all?
No, I don't know anything about it. I actually do have that fact listed, but tell me more. Tell me what you know about it.
Well, I mean, again, it was I'm sure I don't have the whole story, but there was, there was a scene where the Rolling Stones, got very popular in this little room called Crawdaddy. And then Yardbirds took over, but Crawdaddy also became the name of this rock zine, is the way I would call it. Like that started with Rolling Stone and Cream and, all of these like literature talking about rock music, because rock music was so dismissed at that time. You know, even with the Beatles and stuff, it was just completely dismissed as like not. You couldn't even get a lot of the rock musicians couldn't even get in the union because they couldn't read music. They're like, oh well, I'm sorry. Anyway, so that's it. So they started their band there, and then they luckily, like 1 in a million shot. Who's their lead guitarist or their second lead guitarist is this teenager, Eric Clapton, who, you know, was this he not only had talent, but he had a talent for practice. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if that's obsessive compulsiveness. What would you call that? Like, he would like work on B.B. King and Freddie King licks, like hours, days and days.
Obsession.
Yeah.
That's always some of the best people when we become comics that are like that are just obsessed with the
right.
My friend Angelo, the reason we're doing the podcast, he would go every day to the Borders on the corner of Vine and Sunset, and he would just look through magazines and look through the sections for books and open up a book, find something that he was interested in, and then write down a little nugget that he thought was funny, and he would just work for 6-7 hours a day writing jokes and then do it every night. And it was just, rinse, repeat. It's the same thing every day.
Yeah. So that was that band. So they were a blues band because Clapton was a blues purist at the time. And it's so interesting. You should bring up For Your Love that, what is it, Siri? No. Who plays the records in your apartment?
I can't say it, so go on.
Okay. Alexa, is it Alexa?
Yeah. She didn't hear that.
Will she hear that through no, because you're wearing headphones.
I'm wearing headphones, thank God.
So it's interesting that, that's the reason Eric Clapton left that band, is because specifically of that song.
Yeah. So I just found out from Adam, blues initially made its way to Europe during World War II when African-American GIs brought their musical tastes with them.
Okay.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah. So another positive outcome from Hitler invading Europe, right?
So that means they're breaking.
How many positives came out of that thing?
They're breaking into Auschwitz, and it's just like the Jews are all hungry, like they're trying to eat, and it's like
Right.
Can we do that?
So so that song. So they were a blues band, which we're going to find out when we listen to this album. Is the second side is all blues covers.
All right. So let's talk about the record. Let's talk about record. Do we want to talk about the record, or do we want to talk about the history of the Yardbirds first?
Well, I thought we kind of got the history a little bit. Do I need to go by?
So here's what I've got. The Yardbirds were formed in a southwest suburb of London in '63 with core lineup of vocalist, harmonica player. I'm gonna fuck this last name up. Keith Reif, R-E-I-F. Did I say that right?
Yep. Died in 1976. Yep.
God, I love you.
Yeah.
I wish we do. One day, I hope we do an episode on Pistol Pete Maravich, and then I won't call you.
The great music of Pistol Pete.
A shooting free throw, behind
the back,
the ball. Drummer Jim McCarthy, rhythm guitarist.
Is it McCarthy or McCarty?
I
don't think there's an H in there. But I've heard him say McCarthy. So let's say
I got it written as McCarthy.
Yeah, he's the only one still in the band today. Yeah,
they're still doing it,
I believe.
Okay,
he is the one last.
Dude, if you don't have Eric Clapton, Jimmy Page, and Jeff Beck, GFY. Right. All right, so Jim McCarthy or McCarty, rhythm guitarist, bassist, Chris Jesus, these names. Draga, or if it's Spanish, it's Drea. And bassist, producer, Paul Samwell Smith. Then lead guitar was held at various points by Topham initially. And then this is crazy. I mean, we mentioned it already, but 3 guitar, not players, legends.
Right.
Eric Clapton, Jimmy Page, and Jeff Beck.
Right. Not in that order.
Which I have met Jeff Beck at the Comedy Store.
What?
Through my friend Tol Wilkenfeld.
Nice.
who played bass. There's a very, very famous, they're playing, I think, like a jazz festival somewhere, and Jeff Beck is they're jamming, and Tull's on bass, and then he gives her a bass solo, and she's, I think, like, she was discovered by Prince at 16. So I think like she's probably in her early 20s. She looks so young, and she's just shredding. And you see Jeff Beck. Like,
I know who she is. I know
she's
she
great.
is. I've seen the footage of her. Yeah.
Great friend of the podcast. I love her to death.
Has she done records on it?
Not yet. We've got some coming up because she's close with like Leonard Cohen, and we've talked about her doing Jeff Buckley. But those are in years. We got like at least another year, I think, until any of those come up. But meeting Jeff Beck, it's like one of those things where it's like the dude had an aura. He's a tiny man. He's not like a big dude. But it was just he just looked so much like a rock star. I mean, they like I said, like certain people have that glow, and he had that glow. So.
Can I just quick sidebar before just a quick jump in? Because I've only seen Jeff Beck live twice, never met him. And once a show at Universal Amphitheater. I think that's how you pronounce it, right? There's
I thought you had a stroke halfway through saying that.
Oh my God, he stroked out. With him, he toured with Stevie Ray Vaughan. It was a double bill, double guitar sling. Yeah. So that I had to see, as you know, I'm a guitar dude. Yeah. And then just right before the pandemic with his old buddy Rod Stewart at the Hollywood Bowl, he came out and did a few of those songs, the old Backola songs that were just incredible.
I couldn't imagine how good that was.
It was pretty good. The thing is, Jeff Beck to me is a great mystery because he's this genius guitar player, but he always seems to be like getting in trouble or effing up things. And like he did this with this band. He would not show up for gigs. He was like not reliable, all of that kind of stuff. And I don't know. And he had the look. There's no one who has the look better than him, right?
So my question, and Adam, I want you to find this out. What kind of trouble did he get into? What do you know about Jeff Beck?
Well, I know that when he was with the Yardbirds, he would miss gigs, and that he was more into this girl. That he dated this super hot girl in California who was like a young movie star, and he got sick a lot on the tour, and eventually he was so unreliable he got kicked out of the band. And also, even though he brought Jimmy Page into the band because they played together for a short period of time, he really wanted to be doing his own thing, which was fine. I mean, he ended up doing Truth and Backola, and and then he was off to the races. But so that always surprised me and he hated touring. He just hated. I mean, the Yardbirds tours are notorious for that band getting ripped off by American promoters. Like they made no money. They were like in like Greyhound buses. They didn't even have their own bus. Mm-hmm. They traveled like you bought a ticket, put their stuff under and then went to the gig, and it's just terrible. And and it was just like I just want to be in one place and create some music. So that's what I know about Jeff Beck, and seen him twice. And now that I know that you met him. And he had an aura about him. That's my new thing.
Aura.
I didn't know he was a little guy, though.
I mean, first of all, I'm 5'9", so everybody, if he was on my height, he's like, I think look up his height, Adam. Right. Find out how tall Jeff Beck is. Well, I think, I tell you, I'm not yelling at him. This is what Adam does. Adam.
5'10"?
All right, maybe he's not a little guy. Maybe I'm a little guy.
If anybody's height that's listed, you can usually take like an inch or two right off.
Oh, I love it. It's like a Kmart discount. Take a couple inches off at the register. Blue light special. Love it.
So the name of the band is a reference to Jack Kerouac's On the Road, which referred to rail yard hobos. After the Rolling Stones, like you said, left the residency at the Crawdaddy Club, the Yardbirds took over and got the ball rolling for them. Like other British R&B inspired bands, they played covers of artists like Muddy Waters, Bo Diddley, and Howlin' Wolf. This is a tough name I'm going to fuck up. Giorgio Gomulski.
Yeah, he's their manager, right?
Yep, he took over as their manager. He was running the Crawdaddy Club, and their first record producer set them up for their first tour as a backup band for Chicago blues great Sonny Boy Williamson.
Oh, right, they went on tour with Sonny. Yeah.
And
supposedly that was a nightmare. that Sonny couldn't even not read music, couldn't read. And so he, this is incredible, just show business. So they would like make a set list, and he was like, he couldn't read the set list.
He was like, I just
Can you
know.
imagine?
I mean, he just
Talk about the blues. Talk about the blues.
What do they have to do to get him to know what song's next?
I have no idea. I would like
Again, and that we're doing
All
that
right,
one.
that was-
It's like that sounds like every song we're doing. Again, and it. Fuck, that could be 19 different songs on this set list.
Okay, go. Yes, they did tour with that, and that was and actually, there's an album of it that's not too bad actually.
Well,
It was released later. Yeah.
So 5 Live
that's their
Yardbirds
first
was
album.
the first release in the UK in '64, but having a Rave Up was their first American release the next year. This nor any equivalent was released in the UK, but a few tracks were released as singles, as a B-side, or on later compilations.
Yeah.
The band broke up in 1968 with Reef and McCarthy forming Renaissance, and Page starting Led Zeppelin.
Yep.
McCarthy and Draja reformed in the 90s, but Draja left in 2012, leaving McCarthy as the only original active member. A major part of their legacy was how well received their live shows were, and maybe weren't a band that weren't fully appreciated until much later on.
Yes. Yeah.
You agree with
I
that?
didn't appreciate them till much later on. And I do feel like one of the problems with this band, and may rest in peace, was the lead singer, because he was not a great singer. And he had kind of like a thin, reedy, and he was a little pitchy, as the kids like to say now.
Yeah.
And so he just wasn't and he wasn't as charismatic as, let's say, he's following in Mick Jagger's footsteps. Like, that's the band.
The most charismatic lead singer in the history of...
Right. Dripping with charisma. And so anyway, so I think that was part of the problem with this band was sort of star-crossed. That's why I'm saying it's a bridge band. It's a bridge from Chicago blues guys into London, and then out of there we get Cream, Led Zeppelin, and to a lesser extent Beck, Jeff Beck with Beck Ola and stuff like that. But it's like it's just an amazing story. 5 years together, and and they fired that manager guy. They thought he was like remember that tour of the US, like they were making no money and getting ripped off. And the last manager of the band, I know you're going to get to this, I'm just jumping to it, was the manager of Led Zeppelin, Peter, whatever his name is. I'm blanking on his name right now, but
Peter
anyway.
North, the porn star. Peter North.
Peter Grant. I don't know.
Peter Grant. Yeah,
How many times have I seen The Song Remains the Same? He's like the star he's the fifth star that I'm yelling at the dude. You ever seen that clip of him yelling?
Oh yeah.
At the guy who's selling T-shirts or
Adam, can you find that for me? I want to see that.
He's just going nuts on this guy selling posters outside Madison Square Garden, or it might have been in Baltimore. That movie is so cut from a lot of different shows, and just going nuts on that poor guy. He was like
he was scary, man.
Yeah, well, don't forget his
dude.
his fantasy.
Here it is.
Oh, okay.
The starting line.
There it is.
You don't tell me that I bet it wouldn't happen in Europe.
I don't know how the guy got in the building. This isn't Europe or England.
Oh, I can see that, but you're so inefficient. You had people inside this building.
Found out about it, we stopped it.
Don't know you're fucking in session here. Your mate selling the T-shirts and they fucking do it.
He came back and did he come back?
Well, he does everything. He does the security one night.
Can we cut it can we all just admit that Peter Grant looks like Andy from Pee-wee's Big Adventure? Remember when he goes to the diner and he goes to look at the dinosaurs, and then she's like, "Oh no, it's Andy." Andy, and then he runs and he gets chased. That's Andy.
You rented it, you control it, isn't selling fucking fire posters.
Dude, look how big that dude is.
Yeah, he's
man.
huge guy. So
no wonder the band never got in trouble for any of the bad shit they did, because he was the person that was going up to the hotel.
The
clerk
enforcer,
like,
yeah.
He was like, "You go fuck yourself. I don't care if they threw a TV out the window. Your window should be stronger." He is like the British Andre the Giant. Yeah, no, he's more like Earthquake. You remember? Pull up Earthquake because he looks like Earthquake.
The
And then
comedian?
pull up Andy. No, he looks like
The comedian Earthquake?
he's like, yeah, dude. He's performing with Monique at the at the Louis Gossett Jr. Amphitheater in Atlanta. Oh, we're having a time. We're having a rave up.
it. Oh, Earthquake the wrestler. I see.
He's having a rave up. Look at that guy. Jesus Christ.
I thought maybe you would show a clip from the movie Earthquake with Walter Matthau. Okay.
All right, so let's talk about this record.
So this record is really fascinating because it's first the title, having a rave up. Now kids still go or used to still go to raves. They don't call them raves anymore.
I did. I went to raves from 1998 until about 2005 in the Washington D.C. Baltimore area. I don't think this is the music. This is definitely not the music that they played there.
No. But I'm talking about the word rave, like what it meant in musically, and is before we even get to the songs on there.
Do you want me to tell you what it means? Because I have it.
All right, let's see what it says.
So the name of the album refers to the rave up arrangement the band used in some of the songs. Raving up is when a band would increase the beat to double time, usually during a middle instrumental section, to build the improv in the middle of a song to a climax. The concept has its roots in jazz.
Yep. So they would rave up in the middle of these songs to get the crowds going. Again, I think the Yardbirds thing was that they were a live band. Although when I see footage of them live, things seem a little loose to me. Having said that, I'm saying the word rave up is still in the culture. You went to raves. I don't even know if they call them raves anymore. What do they call them now?
EDM shows.
Yeah, okay. So anyway, so the first side of the album is all studio tracks.
Yeah.
The second side of the album, if I'm not mistaken, 4 live tracks that were from their first album that was never released in the United States, which was called 5 Live Yardbirds. Remember, you just spoke about that.
Mm-hmm.
So they took supposedly the best. So it's Jeff Beck on side 1, Eric Clapton on side 2.
And
how crazy is that?
It's insane, but can I be completely honest with you?
Yeah.
Second half of the record, it just blows away the first half.
Oh, so you like the live? Okay.
I love it so much. First of all, it's a great record. Let's just say that straight away. I mean, let's look at some of the tracks. I'm
going to look at them too.
So actually, you know, it's funny, Adam, and cut this out, Peter. You gave me, I think, you gave me a different version of it because the UK and then the English
there's been a number of releases.
So one of them, because the one that I have is the one that starts off with "I'm a Man." So Peter, cut all this out, and then we'll pick it up from here. All right. So it opens with "I'm a Man." Great blues song, originally a Bo Diddley song, and one of his first hits, and that was.
Wait a minute, before we even start, I have a different track listing completely of the original album.
Which one do you have? Okay, you have what? It starts with
"You're a better man than I."
All right, let's just do that one. That's the one that we both have listed. All right, so. Cut all this shit out when you're editing, okay, buddy? So we don't sound like fucking amateur hour. All right, so it opens with "You're a Better Man Than I." Can you play a little bit of it? Because I got to comment on this. Just get to the chorus.
You're a better man than I. Yeah, mister, you're a better man than I.
All right, wait, hold on. Baby scabadoo, skiba deeba deeba true. This is the most 60s sounding song ever written, in my opinion. This is a step below "Incense and Peppermints" by Strawberry.
Yeah. Oh, great call. Yeah,
great song, but
no question. Here's the thing about side 1 that we're going to get to with this track in particular, but only one song is written by anyone in the Yardbirds.
Mm-hmm.
That's on there. Never mind the cover songs they do on the other side. So this one is written by Mike Hugg from Manfred Mann. Here's the crazy thing about this song. Recorded while they were on tour in America in a little place called Sun Studios with Sam Phillips. You might remember him from Elvis Presley.
I don't know who that is.
You don't know Sam Phillips?
No.
I love it. Sam Phillips is the guy that discovered Elvis, the big bang moment of rock and roll when he does That's All Right Mama in the studio. You'd never seen any of those crazy TV movies?
And no, I haven't, but now I'm gonna.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to shame you. I did not mean to shame you, but I
felt
literally thought everyone knew this guy.
I felt a little triggered.
This is just a problem with my age, to tell you the truth. So, anyway, you know that Elvis Presley in Memphis, at this little studio, Sun Studios, recorded these songs that sort of started, not completely, but a lot of people think of like that's the moment, like kind of rock and roll really moved from R&B to like something, that more mainstream, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Elvis Presley. That's All Right, Mama. So anyway, Sam Phillips was the guy that ran the studio. So this is like a legendary studio where bands from England or all over the world would come and try to recapture that magic of that studio. So on tour, they recorded this song. They recorded another one that's also on, but we'll get to that later. I thought that was fascinating. Maybe not.
No, well, it's very fascinating. Very fascinating. But you know what's also fascinating? Evil Hearted You.
Oh, yes.
Originally written by future 10cc member Graham Goldman.
He's the best. Jewish rock and roll.
You didn't even have to say that. His last name's Goldman. I mean,
Goldman
we all knew
Steinberg.
It.
Reduced it from Goldman Steinberg.
Dude, Yitzhak Rabin is turning in his grave right now that you actually said that. He was like,
I'm
what?
Sorry.
A music critic referred to it as one of the gloomiest hit singles in all of 60s British rock. I actually think this sounds like every 60s spy movie. Play a little bit of Evil Hearted You.
Evil hearted you always try to
That's it. That's all I need to hear. That one. Do you hear the spy shit though?
Yeah, there's a lot of reverb on those guitars.
A lot of reverb. Great song. Then you got I'm a Man. This is originally a Bo Diddley song.
Okay, this is where I'm going to disagree with you. I like this version better than the live version on the same album, by the way. On side 2, they also do I'm a Man. So you like the I'm a Man, Eric Clapton more than the Jeff Beck.
Yeah, I think I do. Yeah,
Can you go to, this is going to be, again, this is another weird thing, recorded at Chess Studios in Chicago. That's where Muddy Waters started. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Can we go to the bridge of I'm a Man? Because a lot of people call this version where Jeff Beck and Keith, the lead singer / harmonica player, kind of does a jam in the middle of this song as an example of Rave Up in the middle of a pop song.
man.
Not yet. Keep going.
I'm a man. I spell M-A-M.
This is it.
There it is.
Go back a little. Sorry. I know we're doing this.
No, you're good.
We're having a rave up.
Oh, get me the cat tranquilizer and give me my UFO Jinkos. I love it.
God, that's incredible.
That is
that part
incredible.
you got to hear that whole song. I'm gonna stand by. That's a better version of it than the Clapton version, but I might be wrong.
All right. Well, listen, when you break it down like that, and I see your enthusiasm behind it, you kind of sway me. But here's something really cool. Bo Diddley praised this cover, calling it beautiful.
Oh, it's incredible. Yeah,
which is great. Yeah, that's really cool to have the guy that wrote the song, fucking be like, dude, you guys killed it. Still I'm sad. Loved this song. Very
You
Western.
do. This is the song I don't like. I love that you love it because you
Well, I
like
just-
weird.
Yeah, I love the Oz. Can you play the Oz?
It's all through it.
Oh, there it is, dude. It's now cut. You want to hear something really Jewish? This was probably written by Gouldman. This
It
is like
wasn't.
very.
It
This is very Pesach-y. You know what I mean? Like,
Do you remember I said that only one song was written by anyone in the Yardbirds?
yeah.
This is the song.
Fuck that, dude.
This is the song.
no
Jim
wonder.
McCarthy or McCarthy or whatever his name is, the drummer
We
and the
love you,
bass
buddy.
player, Paul Samwell Smith wrote this song. You love it. It's
I
so
like-
Gregorian to me.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I like it. You know how much I love Gregorian shit. I always have. We talk about it all the time. We go out to eat and you say, Josh, why are you so into Gregorian music? And I go, because my grandfather was a monk. My great grandfather was a monk.
Okay.
My favorite movie is In the Name of the Rose.
You like the
with
TV show Monk?
I love the TV show Monk.
Yeah.
It was either between comedy or monking. And I said, I'm going to do comedy because I got to stop the bloodline of monking.
Well, this is my question for you.
Yeah.
I know the Gregorians, I know they're monks, I know they're known for chanting. Is there any other music that Gregorians did? Because I always hear like there's Gregorian chants. Is there ever Gregorian, I don't know, Giffle bands?
There is. Do you remember there's not new. Like, take this whole thing again, Peter. Let me answer it a lot cleaner because I'm fucking up. Sorry. I just got a text from a, all right, so pick it up from here. So the question was there anything new from Gregorians?
No. I was making a joke. Kind of. I'll do it again. I'll set you up one more time.
Yeah, set me up. Go ahead.
I know the Gregorians are known primarily for their musical chanting. Was there anything else they did musically that has like been forgotten? It was there like Gregorian power chords, or Gregorian counter melodies.
Adam, get ready to pull this shit up. Pull up Enigma. They had a dude, the Gregorian genre.
Come on.
Gregorian genre had like a flash in like the late 80s, early 90s, I think, when that came out. Enigma. It's all Gregorian chanting fuck music. So they got into like the Marvin Gaye territory of making love sounds. So you got it, Adam? You got it? Enigma. Okay. Pull it up.
I'm dubious. Just dubious if people are making out. Oh, I see.
I mean, come on, dude. This is it. Oh, this is where it gets good. All right, that's enough of that. We don't need it. I don't need any more.
That music is like, that's the music that like triggers the Antichrist return. Like that was so inappropriate.
That's very Roman Polanski, like Rosemary's Baby.
The thing that's like the beginning of The Exorcist. I was like, come on, that's wrong to put like those beats. Put a rolling 808 underneath.
808, yeah.
Underneath. Come on, guys.
Still a good song. Still good use
Still
of the
good,
Gregorians.
but still, you're missing my point. You're missing
No.
my point. They're still chanting in that song. It's still about the chant.
Yeah.
They just put a kind of a hip hoppy beat underneath it. It kind of reminds me a little of what Ethel Merman did with her disco album. We'll move on. You don't know anything about that.
I don't
but
know
somebody's
anything
gonna enjoy
about that.
I know. Someone's going to enjoy that.
It's just like a techno beat to "Luck be a lady tonight." Luck be a lady tonight.
Yeah, it was a 4 on the floor. Yeah, it was
She
a
had
4 on
she
the
had a
floor.
rave up. So then you have "Heart Full of Soul." This is the
Guess
first
who wrote "Heart Full of Soul"?
Goldman.
Yes, our Jewish friend.
Yep.
By the way, just to loop back to our Jewish buddy, Goldman also wrote "For Your Love," the song that Alexa likes to play whenever you mention the band.
She can't hear you. You can say
Oh, she
it.
can't. It's okay.
Not at all.
She's always listening. She's always listening.
Dude, Jeff Bezos.
By the way,
knows.
she just texted me. That's crazy. She is really okay.
That's who I was texting with. But listen,
I love "Heart Full of Soul." I guess I'm a Grand Goldman fan. Like I'm just a fan of that guy.
Here's something really cool that we pulled up. So they tried to use an Indian sitar player for the intro, but didn't like how it sounded. So Jeff Beck tried to play the part on an electric guitar, making it sound as close to a sitar as possible. Here, can you play that? Because
by the way, the sitar.
All right, kill it. This is something even cooler. The use of the fuzz box guitar effect in this song is also believed to be the first significant use of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is why I'm saying they're a bridge to like all of that stuff. Psychedelia, is that how you say it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I feel like that's it. Obviously, this is right before the Beatles used sitar on I don't know, was it Norwegian Wood or one of those songs?
Yep.
I just love these songs. I love these Graham Goldman songs.
So these are all great. This the first half.
Yeah,
of the
no,
record's
this
great.
is why I like this album.
But then
it
kicks in, and you got
my
a train keeps a rolling. And as I was talking to Adam before you clicked on, I mean, this has been covered by how many people? Adam?
I mean, Aerosmith has the most famous one.
Yes, Aerosmith used to, and I've seen Aerosmith maybe 8 times through the years. Seen him a number of times. A little bit of a brag. Nobody knows this, but I'm also in the crowd when they shot the video for "Love in an Elevator." Like I'm an Aerosmith fan. Going down. Remember
Going down.
Yeah. So anyway, but during the taping of that song, which is they're just basically miming to the track as they play it over and over again, right? During a production break, they stopped and the band was like, "Let's just play a song," and then they played "Train Kept a Rolling."
Wow.
While we were, just as like, because it's Aerosmith. I you know me, I'm a huge fan, especially of that front man. What's his name?
Steven Tyler.
I'm kidding. So anyway, yes, "Train Kept a Rolling" is a perfect example of a rave up, especially the way Aerosmith did it. Because they would do it slow and then did it. I don't know if it's quite double time, but it faster and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. What's your feeling about Aerosmith? And
you talking to me? Or
Yeah.
you talking to Adam? I love them. I mean, it's one of those bands that's like I've started really because they were popular. Their biggest popular during my lifetime is the later half of their life. So Permanent Vacation, Kick, Get the Life, or whatever the one with
Get a Life. Yeah.
Get a Life.
Permanent Vacation. Yes.
That was great. I love Angel. I love
I Don't Want to Miss a Thing. You want
to my favorite song by them is really Living on the Edge.
Oh.
With living on the edge, you can help yourself.
Yeah, this is when it's interesting. This is like the opposite. They're sort of the opposite in that they wrote a lot of their songs. Obviously, they wrote "Dream On," which was their first big hit. They did cover "Train Kept a Rollin'," this Yardbirds version. But later, during your version, they hired songwriters. Jennifer Warren and Desmond Child wrote a lot of those. I call them, I don't know, they're sort of like for girls as well as guys, those songs,
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas, God,
You're
I love
right.
Aerosmith.
No, they're a great band. You know, I'm excited to really dig into like I was with Burr one night and
Yeah.
I was like, he was talking about Aerosmith. I was like, dude, I never listened to Toys in the Attic. And so he picked out all his favorite Aerosmith songs that weren't like that were all like before like 1980 or something. And
Right.
I mean, it was just everything. I was like, good God. Like I love the Guns N' Roses version of Mamakin.
Of course.
Dude,
yeah, that's from Rocks, right? Or something. Yeah.
Such a good version. Speaking of which, I just went to go see Guns N' Roses. I think I talked about it in the intro for the episode that just came out, but man, dude, Axl Rose's voice is just
Great. It's as good as ever, right? I'm kidding. Was it bad? Tell me what happened.
Dude, the band killed it, and Axl, I think he's singing like so during the sound check.
What do you mean?
The sound guy comes.
You were
out
there
and,
for the sound check?
Oh yeah, I was like front row too. My friend, I'm a buddy with Duff's manager, and I love Brian to death. Dude, the band rules. Go see them if you've never seen them. They still sound great.
Oh, I saw them
But
open for this.
there were certain points of the set though. It's because here's what they were doing. The sound guy comes out. And he's going like, check 1, check 2. And then he goes like this. He goes, I'm barely talking. And he's holding the Axl mic and it sounds so loud. He's like, I'm barely talking. So I think Axl isn't singing from his chest voice or even his throat voice. He's singing from his head voice. So he's singing like, he's like, you know, welcome to the jungle. We got fun and games. So he's singing almost like in a squeak. So he doesn't really project, but it's so loud that it just matches. He did hit some crazy notes, but it's just, dude, and this is the thing in his defense, those songs are so hard to sing, Wayne, like so hard to sing. I mean, even, you know, back in the day to be able to hit those notes and sing in that register. So to do it now at like close to 60 and you're doing a tour schedule of like every other day, you're doing a fucking stadium and you're doing a 30 song set list, power to him. I'm not, no shade. But I saw them 2 other times prior to this since they got back together. And I mean, his voice sounded incredible. Maybe it was an off night. Maybe it was just an off night. You know what I mean?
Right. Maybe he was nervous. You were in the crowd in the front row.
I was there. Yeah.
I can
I was there.
that.
Yeah. But here, back to this record though, God's honest truth. In my opinion, I mean, the second half of this record, I mean, you know, because first of all, Smokestack Lightning,
okay, Howlin' Wolf, yeah,
it's just a great song. This is also, like you said, the last 4 tracks, they're all Clapton. He
all done
shreds
at the
on it.
Marquee Club. Have you ever been to there?
I haven't.
Yeah, that's the famous kind of a London club. It's sort of, I would say, the equivalent. I hope I don't get killed on Reddit for this or Twitter. I would say it's the equivalent of like the Whiskey or the Troubadour or something like that. It's like the club where a lot of people recorded at, and especially those rock bands at that time. Like, it's still around, but it's at the Marquee Club, not a Crawdaddy. This
Not
was
a Crawdaddy.
Yeah, a bigger venue in London. Yeah.
Where was I?
We were talking about these 4 songs.
Yeah.
You loved.
I pulled up something else for a second. So this is Howlin' Wolf's most popular song. It's released in '56.
Yeah.
You know, Respectable is great. Originally written by the Isley Brothers. I'm a Man. Here's the big battle.
Here's the Federman battle right now.
Federman Myers battle. Which version is better?
It's the Jewish Throwdown. Let's do it.
I gotta go with the live version, dude.
I know. Let's listen to a little of that. Let's listen
on
to
the live version.
Roger, boy, I need your 5. It's on in my pocket. Got a lot of folks out. I'm a man. I spell him. Man.
Yeah, dude. You got me, man. Take my money. I kill it. Take my money. Take my money. Oh. It's perfect. You can hear the energy in the room. You can.
It's great.
The vibe. The band vibing. It's everything that.
All I can say in my defense is the guy who wrote the song, named Bo Diddley, not his real name. Elias McDaniel's his real name. Thinks the Beck version is better. It's no big deal. It's only the guy who wrote the song. No, I'm not saying you're wrong. and I'm right. I'm just saying that's who's on this side of the argument.
Okay. Listen, we agree to disagree.
Elias. Okay. Bring it up with Bo. Bring it up with Bo.
Hey, Bo, get in here, Bo.
Oh, doing the improv now.
something.
Oh, I
Bo's
didn't know
coming up.
he lived next to you. What's going on?
He's in apartment 5C.
Oh, okay.
No, listen. It's both sides of the
I'm
record.
kidding. I'm kidding.
I know, of course you are, but both sides of the record are equal in their part.
How many albums in the history of music have two versions of the same song, a live and a studio version, on the same album?
I can tell you one.
Go ahead. Let me hear
Sir
it.
Mix-a-Lot Greatest Hits is just 9 versions of Baby Got Back and 1 live version.
Okay, all right.
I bought it from a gas station in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
From a gas station, not an attendant, an actual gas station.
It's a human gas station.
So it was just a whole gas station sells albums.
It was a transformer, a very lazy transformer. Just do you want to buy?
There's the album. Okay,
Here, take this. We've got
And
a lot of
Did you put in
copies
cash?
of it.
Did you put in cash or swipe a card? What
No,
did you do?
he took Bitcoin. Yeah.
Very good, very good, very good. And that gas station sold a lot of records.
All in all, I think this is a phenomenal record. Let's look at what some of the music journalists of yesteryear have said.
Yes.
Several retrospective reviews have been favorable.
Mm-hmm.
Who do we have here? Reviewing Guitar Player magazine.
Can I just say before we get to these reviews that in a way the Yardbirds suffered from not having they did have hits in England, and some of these songs, For Your Love and stuff were hits and happenings 10 years ago, but they weren't like the Beatles, they weren't like the Stones, they weren't like the Animals with House of Horizon. You know what I mean? They never really broke through on a huge level. So they were always kind of a cult band.
Yeah.
Even at their peak. I believe so. But go ahead. And I feel like in retrospect, they're now more appreciated, right?
So I've got 2 that I'm going to drop. Let
me hear it.
This is from a Clapton biographer, David Bowling, from Guitar Player magazine. He said today, and this is in 1999, the Yardbirds' second American album sounds something like the ultimate garage band meets an end of the world guitarist. For a while in 65, though, having a Rave Up with the Yardbirds contained rock's freshest, most vital guitar playing.
Yeah.
And then Rolling Stone magazine, which ranked this 355 on the list, they noted freed from Eric Clapton's blues purism and spurred by Jeff Beck's reckless exhibitionism, the Yardbirds launched a noisy rock and roll avant-garde. This is the bridge between beat groups and psychedelia.
This is me and Rolling Stone. We have this. Wayne Federman, Rolling Stone has the same. They're a bridge band. They're definitely a bridge band, no question.
And so this debuted at number 137 on the Billboard 200 and reached as high as 53 in February 66 and spent 33 weeks in total on the chart.
Okay, so so people listen to it, yeah, and I don't know. I don't know if it was more later when Clapton hit with Cream or with John Mayall and all of that stuff. But what other reviews? Keep reading. I just want you to read. I just want you to read.
Well, I've got some here. I got some facts from the record. You want to hear it?
Yes.
All right.
Facts.
So first of all, we got to say this. This album did not make the cut for the 2020 Rolling Stone Top 500 album list. It did not.
Oh, so this has been removed.
This has been removed from the newer list. Wow. So after Clapton left the band, the initial recommendation to replace him was Jimmy Page, but Page was happy with his session work at the time and referred his buddy Jeff Beck. It was only 2 days between Clapton's departure and Beck playing his first notes with the band.
Yep. Right after For Your Love. I don't know if I can't imagine that Clapton ever played For Your Love live, but keep going.
Well, I don't know if I said this already, but Eric Clapton.
Go ahead. Keep going.
Eric Clapton biographer David Bowling calls the album early and important rock and roll. It remains an important step in the evolution of rock music.
It's a step. It's a bridge. It's an evolutionary. It's incredible. If you're interested, you can just listen to Aerosmith, and you can just listen to Led Zeppelin 1 and 2, and you don't have to listen to this. But if you're kind of curious, the roots of this all, it's really fun to dive into this band.
No, I completely agree. And then here's the coolest shit. Towards the end of the 60s, the Yardbirds broke up while in the middle of a tour. Page, he's playing with them and wanted to keep the band going and eventually put together a band called the New Yardbirds, consisting of vocalist Robert Plant, bassist John Paul Jones, and drummer John Bonzo Bonham. They would eventually change their name, taken from a quote by the Who drummer Keith Moon. Moon had said previously that their band would go over like a Led Zeppelin, and the name Led Zeppelin stuck. So listen, man, the Yardbirds, you don't get Led Zeppelin.
Led Zeppelin was at one point the New Yardbirds.
Yeah.
With Peter Grant as their manager.
And it's funny because
wreaking havoc across the.
Because I don't know if you remember, in the 80s, there was in the 70s, there was the Monkees.
Yeah.
And then in the 80s, they had the New Monkees, and the New Monkees went on to become who? Corn.
Corn?
Corn.
No,
no, of course not.
No, of course. That's a good joke, though.
What is my dog doing? Let go.
I don't know. I don't think you're
serious. Are you fucking serious right now? Stop. Go lay down.
Hold on. Hold on. I'm
Go lay down. Go lay down. You got the ball. Now shut the fuck up.
Excuse me. I'm texting the animal abuse hotline. Give me 1 second.
You're good. We're literally. I got like 4 questions for you, and then we're done.
No, I love it. No, I was just texting the animal abuse hotline. It's no big deal.
Okay.
I got him.
All right, let's do some quickies and we'll get you out of here. Okay.
Yeah. This was fun, by the way. This is fun.
This was great. Favorite song on the record?
Oh, all right. I'm looking at the. Well, it's. I have to say, it's got to be Train. It's got to be Train Kept. It's got to be the cover of Train Kept a Rollin' is my favorite track on the record. Just
look who's come around and now accepted the live part.
No, you're making a mistake. We're talking about. I'm not talking about I'm a Man. I'm talking about Train Kept a Rollin'.
Okay.
Jesus Christ. Poor dog has to deal with.
Talk about dog is the greatest life in the world. I'm about to take her on like an hour walk through the village. All right, least favorite song on the record.
Oh, well, that's easy. That couldn't. I'll tell you my 2 least favorite. My least favorite is, I hate to say it, the Gregorian chant one. I don't like.
Heartbreaking.
Still, I'm sad. I know you love it. I don't. I just. Yeah, it's a great song to raise spirits from the dead. It's great. It's a great song if I want to take out the Ouija board and bring evil into the 21st century. Great song. Yeah. Thanks, guys. My second least favorite is the last song on the album. I don't know. I don't like Here 'Tis. I know that's.
Play a little bit of Here 'Tis. Play a little bit of Here 'Tis, Ad.
That's the last song.
Rock.
It is.
See, I love it. Kill it. I love it.
No, you love it. Now, it actually sounded better when I heard it. So forget the last one. I'm just going to stick with
Gregorian because you hate monks.
Yeah, the Gregorian. I hate the monks.
You hate the monks.
Say,
right.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
All right. This is an interesting one.
What are yours? Can I ask what yours are? Can we go back and forth, or no? Is it all just about Wayne?
Favorite song on the record? When I did my big listen, I wrote, Train Keeps a Rolling, side 1.
Oh,
my favorite one.
Piggybacked.
Actually, no. Take that whole thing again.
Okay, your favorite song? Your favorite song when you listen to it?
Smokestack Lightning.
Oh yeah, well,
I love it. I love it. But you could take any track from the second half of the record. Even,
you like the Clapton over the Beck, even though you've met
I really
Beck.
do. Dude, he's slow hand, dude.
I know. By the way, during this time, he got his name Slowhand.
This is it?
Yeah, during this time. You want to know what it means?
He has Bell's palsy in his hand.
Jesus Christ. I apologize for everyone who's suffering from a viral disease called Bell's palsy. It comes, it goes. No, he would, because he used super light strings, because he liked to bend those, up 1.5 notes and all of that. He would often break strings, especially during a rave up. He would break strings. And then he would change the strings on stage. And during that time, the English audience, in a sarcastic English way, would do group. My slow hand. And that's how he got the name. Just like, what I mean? Just like us. Come on, man. Change the string.
Change the fucking string.
String, Eric.
Change the string. There's also a really good song by Interpol called Slow Hands.
Really?
Can you play it?
Yeah.
Adam play Slow Hands by Interpol. Let's ride on me slow hands, but you slam ba do. Oh, you got to pay for YouTube, bro. Come on, man. You got to pay for it. $6.99 a month, bud. You got that kind of money.
There we go.
He's got commercials. Skip ahead just a little bit because I want to get to the good part. Done to my heart. Get to one chorus. Kill it. It's Joy Division. It's literally Joy Division, from what I know of Joy Division. But it's a good song.
I wish the audience sang that while he was changing his strings.
Hurry up, Eric, and change your string because that reminds me. We did a goddamn comedy jam at in Brooklyn, and Burr was like a surprise guest drop in, and we did 2 songs with him. We did "Kickstart My Heart." With Joe DeRosa sang with Burr on drums, and we were going to do a Pantera song, and Joel, my guitarist, broke a string during the first song, Kickstart My Heart. And we basically, like, he needed to change a string, and he's like, you got to kill time. Now there's 500 people in the audience that are like insanely sweaty, and the room is so hot. So Joel could not get the string. It took him like 15 minutes. We had to like kill time. And so like Burr had to come from out behind the drum set and start doing like crowd work. And he was just so mad about it because it was like it killed all the momentum. I've never seen more fear on Joel's face than trying to change a string. And we were dripping sweat. It was probably 140 degrees inside the venue, just no air, all humidity.
And 5 strings is just not enough.
No, what he needs to do is he needs to have an extra guitar just ready to go, just in case. Ready to go. That's you have to. You can't. That's the problem.
In a weird way, you're talking to Eric Clapton through him, right?
Yeah, 100%. Eric, you get another guitar.
Just have another guitar waiting.
You got extra guitar, buddy. Just from the residuals this week from Tears from Heaven.
Oh my God!
Is it Tears from Heaven or Tears in Heaven? Tears from Heaven might be the Bruce Willis movie about Vietnam. All right. Here's a question. Here's a one. I'm curious. I'm
gonna bounce it back to you after I answer it. So be ready.
What song on this record?
Yeah.
Would you fuck to?
Do you know me? Do you know I don't? All right. Let me look. This is not the kind of thing because I don't really. I'm not like have sex to music kind of guy.
Really? Would you just let CNN play in the background?
It's actually C-SPAN. It's actually C-SPAN. Yeah, mainly. Yeah. Just the floor, just the house floor.
Just something about voting gets my dick hard.
Oh yeah. Parliamentary rules. I fucking can't get any more excited. All right, this is not my thing. Like I actually think none of these. Like they're all too they're just too catchy and up. Like these aren't to me.
You know what would be the perfect one?
Oh,
you know
I
what
know
would
the
be
chanting one.
The chanting one.
Chanting one might be the.
Oh, you just come out wearing like a shroud and you have like a string and you pull the string and it falls off your shoulder.
Oh my God, you're so funny. God damn it. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Final answer. Final answer.
It might have to be the Gregorian chant. It might have to be.
All right. And I feel like you already answered this, but I'm going to ask it again.
Wait, what about you? What about you?
I already answered it.
Oh, you're both of us.
I'm
Okay.
Gregorian.
Okay. Could you imagine maybe like the two of us getting prostitutes, putting that song on next to each other, like looking over like, wow, how great is life?
This is the tops, man.
This is incredible. This girl, this is incredible.
She's just it's Russian girls like what?
Right. They're completely confused. Like, this is incredible.
And then she looks up and she goes, "Great song."
Who is that? Believe it or not, the Yardbirds, the only song they wrote on the album, having a Rave Up. By the way, that's the way I deal with prostitutes. I love just talking to them, charming them, much more like that's connecting with them. That's hilarious.
Yeah, you gotta woo them. You gotta woo them. And then I feel like you answered this already. Why is this album important for the next generation to hear?
I don't know if it is. I don't know if this album is important for the next generation because there's so much music and the story of music. And this is something I'm very passionate about, as you know. The story of music, it just moves, it just flips over so quickly. Like there's like even people like kids listening to music in 2021 is what I call this year. They they just have a whole different reference to even what music is. And so I don't know. For those who are interested in like the blues based hard rock bands of the 60s and 70s, and then the influence, Guns N' Roses, maybe like the bands that people listen to were like 5 generations away from that. I know I'm absolutely babbling about this, but I don't know. I mean, for me, I just think it's any musical historian would have to at least look at a band that had these 3 guitarists in it and had those songs.
Yeah, I agree. Do you think it deserves to be on the 500 greatest albums list?
Oh man, I'm shocked it dropped. That means it dropped 140 some points, 145 points, right? 145 albums got better than this album. This is the thing. It's like what other this would be my question because I'm into these lists. What other Yardbirds albums are on the new list? And then I would be like, oh, okay, I can understand that. Because maybe they just want one Yardbirds album. They're just like, that's enough, I
mean, this new list, man, it's not, it's all, dude, Sgt. Pepper, which was number 1, dropped to number 25.
Wow.
Which is crazy. And then like it was
definitely, talking about.
Well, but also what they did was they kind of like listen, the old list was made by like old white guys and musicians. And so what they did for the new list was bring in a lot of younger people, a lot of like, different ethnic groups and backgrounds. Right. So it is like,
who they didn't bring in any Gregorians. Nope. They didn't bother with one Gregorian to come in.
Top 20. They all would have been like, you got to put it on there. You got to.
Having a Rave Up.
That's all we got.
No, I in a way, I do understand that it was just like, okay, this was like, these are all white bands. And this is another all white band from the whitest place on earth. And maybe that's just kind of like, we're in this reckoning now. We're like, can I just say, I don't know. Do you know who Adam Neely is by any chance?
I don't.
He's a bass player who teaches music theory on YouTube.
Okay.
And he's really, because they're going through the same thing in classical music. In fact, there's a movement to rebrand classical music, not call it classical anymore, and call it music made popular by 18th century European composers. 18th and 19th century European composers.
I don't know. Is there?
Because they're saying, by saying classical, you're sort of like, oh, whatever was going on in India, whatever was going on in Africa, whatever was going on anywhere outside of white Europe is not classical. Does that make, is that,
No,
I hope I'm saying that right. Yeah.
No, it makes sense. I don't know if I agree with it, but it's like,
No,
dude.
but it's, yeah, but I understand the thought process. It was just like, yeah, maybe you don't like that weird Indian music that sounds not great to your ears, but that doesn't mean it's worse. Is that worse than Chopin? I don't know.
I want to pull up this audition that I just got.
Yeah, let me hear it.
Hold on, because it was, here it is. This is what they wrote for the role description. So the role is Oscar, character portrayed as male presenting. 30 to 40s, any ethnicity. Character portrayed as male presenting.
Yep. Yeah. Welcome.
Oh, shit. The Yardbirds are completely absent from the 2020 list.
Okay, well, that's crazy. I can understand they're just like, we need one Yardbirds album instead of 3 or whatever it was. I could understand. I actually think this is the best Yardbirds album because you get Clapton and Beck on it. And the Jimmy Page stuff, you can just listen to Led Zeppelin. You don't have to listen to happenings 10 years ago and stuff like that.
But dude, we have another Yardbirds record in like,
I know.
Right, in like 2 weeks. We have another one coming up. Which one's coming up, Adam?
Checking now.
Is it the Engineer one?
Let me find it. Because I've got, if you looked at what my timeline is, I've got like
No,
area rugs. I've got coffee tables. I've got, I got to find a winter coat.
Those
New
are
York.
3 of the best bands, by the way. Area Rugs I listened to them all the time. In high school.
What about men's puffer jackets and coats?
Oh, really?
That was their first record.
Yeah. Speaking of songs you like to fuck to.
Men's puffer.
Sorry,
Dude, I love ultra lightweight and versatile. That's good.
These are great band names, by the way.
Great band names. Men's parka, Nike duck boots, relaxed fit washed, and then the Yardbirds artist facts. And then my favorite album is post attendee -zoom. That's the best.
What did you find out, Adam?
So they come in at 350 with just the self-titled album Yardbirds, which is also known as Roger the Engineer.
Yeah, Roger the Engineer. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
Sideways Down.
Okay.
Yeah, that has shapes. I think
we have Jerry Cantrell for that one from Alice in Chains.
What?
I think we do.
Okay,
Don't quote me.
Can I just ask, who is the biggest guest you've had so far besides me?
Well, you're first.
Yeah, of course.
Second was Bowser from Sha Na Na.
Oh, he played Woodstock.
We didn't have Bowser. I'd say, you know what? I'd say the biggest, if we're probably the strangest booking was, I would say Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Oh yeah,
he did Sam Cooke live at the Harlem Club. I mean, but then I've had your buddy Judd. I've had, Wanda. I've had Burr a couple of times.
That's
Jim.
awesome.
I've had everybody. This is. I mean, let me look at the coolest one.
I thought there might be some weird musician that you know.
Oh, I did. No.
I feel like you're in those circles that I'm not really in.
Well, I've had Jerry Harrison from the Talking Heads talking about Talking Heads, and it was the week after Modern Lovers, so it was a dual episode. I've had Mike Watt from the Minutemen, and he was like literally the week after Minutemen, which was so great. I mean, we've had, dude.
Interesting. That's cool.
I mean, we've had, everybody. We've had everybody. This is what's cool about this podcast, man, is that, we're not talking about your basic shit anymore. We're talking about, so it's not like a guest will come on and it's like, we're going to talk. We might ask you questions about your career and stuff, but for the most part, we're just talking about the record and finding out some cool things. So,
it's a really fun record, guys. It's really, I love the name of it. The name's intriguing. Having a rave up. That's what they're doing. We're gonna jam. We're gonna jam it out. Is basically what it is, right?
Yeah, we're gonna jam it out, and you know what?
And that's what you do for a living.
I jam. I do. Yeah, I do.
I mean,
Speaking of which, We're about to announce a goddamn comedy jam in LA and in New York. I'm doing dual comedy jams.
Love it.
So that means you have to be there because you're our good luck charm.
100%.
When you're there, August 23rd.
Oh yeah, I'm around.
I'll text you where it is. Well, no, it'll probably be announced by then. It's August 23rd at the Comedy Store in the main room.
Oh wow, there we go.
Yeah, we're moving it to it's just, especially with me living here, it's just going to be
right.
Just keeps my foot in the door.
No,
there
I see you getting sets at the Comedy Cellar. I'm tracking your career.
I love it here.
You do?
I can't believe it took me this long to move here. It really did. I feel like an artist. I feel like a real artist. And I feel like I'm growing. I'm growing at a rate on stage that would the amount of growth I've made in 2 months here, it would take me 2 years in Los Angeles.
Of course.
So from that, and then you're with some of the best joke writers in the world. And that makes you see them and you go, oh, I need to step my game up. Because there's people at open mics that are better than most comics at the Hollywood Improv tonight. Yeah. And it's like, there you go. But this was great, dude. Wayne, I love you to death. Thank you for coming on, buddy. Anything you want to promote? Go ahead, bud.
No. I have a book out called The History of Stand-Up from Mark Twain to Dave Chappelle that just came out, but that's basically it. And so you can get that on Amazon if you're interested in the history of stand-up through the whole thing. Early lectures, vaudeville, nightclubs, comedy clubs, internet, the whole story.
Get it, everybody. Seriously, get the book.
If you're interested in stand-up, you might like it.
But also you wrote a book about Pistol Pete Maravich.
Yeah, it's my second book. This is my second book.
Yeah, so get both of them from the Amazon. Get it from Amazon, or if you really feel so inclined, you know what? Go to a bookstore.
Yeah, go to a
local bookstore, not Jeff Bezos, even though Amazon's just the easiest thing in the world, man. He really is killing it, dude. He's doing a great job. No wonder he's worth $1 quadrillion.
Worth a lot of money.
I just ordered 60 hangers and they'll be here. They're probably here now.
Right,
I ordered them in the middle of the podcast.
You're about to order them. You're about to order them. They're already here.
I literally, when I was looking at my phone, I ordered 60 hangers and the guy, that was my Lecca barked because
I know I'd love to deep dive. And again, thank you so much for having me on. You know I love you.
I love you.
Are the hangers the kind with the little outside part that's like there's like a little bit of cloth on it all the way around? What are those called? Do you know what I'm called? Adam, what are those called?
I'm looking it up now. Hangers.
Oh, okay.
I might have them right here because
But it's not like just a metal hanger, and it's not the plastic kind. It's like there's sort of like this
fabric airplane hangers is what comes up.
Fabric? Is that what it is? There's like a little bit of fabric like around. They're so fun.
Trellis print padded hanger.
No, that's not right. Sorry, I'm yelling at you. Suddenly Anyway, all right.
All right,
Are we
this
done?
is great. We're done, buddy.